In this update, we'll cover the latest developments in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, including strategic missile strikes, military aid, and key advancements on the front lines. Ukrainian main military intelligence directorate, head Lieutenant General Kyrylo Budanov, stated that Western military assistance is arriving in Ukraine, but it is not at a scale that will significantly impact the frontline situation until at least mid to late July 2024. Despite the increased pace of deliveries, Ukrainian forces need a high volume of weapons to make substantial gains. Budanov emphasized that no Armageddon will emerge on the front line soon, and the situation will remain difficult for at least another month. This underscores the ongoing challenges faced by Ukraine in its defense efforts. Budanov highlighted that a sufficient quantity of US-provided long-range ATACMS missiles could allow Ukrainian forces to strike the Russian-built Kerch Strait Bridge in occupied Crimea. This strategic move would sever an important Russian ground line of communication between Crimea and Russia, complicating Russian military logistics and operations in the region. The destruction of the bridge would force Russian military to use a longer route along the northern coast of the Sea of Azov, increasing their vulnerabilities. Current US policy permits Ukraine to use Western-provided weapons to strike anywhere within Russian-occupied Ukraine, further supporting such operations. Russian forces recently advanced in the Seversk direction amid continued ground attacks in the area on June 24th. Geolocated footage published on June 23rd shows elements of the Russian 119th Guards Airborne Division planting a flag in southeastern Rozdolivka. Fighting continued east of Seversk near Verkhnokha-Myanske, northeast of Seversk near Bilohorivka, and south of Seversk near Rozdolivka and Vimka. Russian forces also continued offensive operations near Chasiv Yar, but without confirmed changes to the front line. These developments highlight the intense and ongoing battles in the Donetsk Oblast, as both sides struggle for control. Russian forces reportedly continued offensive operations near Mala Tokmachka in the southern axis on June 24th. Russian sources claimed that positional engagements continued near Robotyne and northwest of Verbov, though the frontline situation remained unchanged. A Russian mill blogger reported significant Ukrainian mining efforts in western Zaporizhia, complicating Russian advances. The use of Lancet drone operators of the Viking detachment of the Russian 22nd Spetsnaz Brigade was also noted. Ukrainian forces launched a HIMARS strike against a Russian bus, car, and truck with Russian personnel in Burchak, indicating the ongoing and dynamic nature of the conflict in this region. Russian forces conducted a limited series of missile strikes against Ukraine on June 24th. Donetsk Oblast head Vadim Filashkin reported that Russian forces struck Pokrovsk with 2 Iskander-M ballistic missiles, destroying residential houses. Ukrainian officials noted that Russian forces launched cruise missiles, likely Iskander-K, against Odesa Oblast. In Kharkiv, a guided glide bomb targeted an educational institution. This highlights the continued Russian efforts to target Ukrainian military and civilian infrastructure. The missile strikes aim to disrupt Ukrainian operations and cause civilian casualties, demonstrating the ongoing intensity and devastation of the conflict. The Russian Ministry of Defense proposed a draft decree to deprive all Russian military districts of their status as joint headquarters. This reorganization aims to streamline command structures and optimize military efficiency. The measure includes integrating the Western Military District into the Moscow and Leningrad districts and subordinating the Caspian Flotilla to the Russian Navy. These changes are part of broader efforts to enhance military coordination and response. Despite internal criticisms of poor treatment and unprofessionalism within the Russian military, these reforms are intended to address structural inefficiencies and improve overall command effectiveness. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov and Belarusian Foreign Minister Sergei Aleynik signed a joint statement on June 24th, emphasizing increased military cooperation and security measures. This includes integrating Belarus into Russian favorable frameworks and enhancing joint efforts against perceived security threats. Wagner Group trainers continue to operate in Belarus, sharing combat experience with Belarusian military personnel. This growing alliance underscores the deepening ties between Russia and Belarus, aimed at countering NATO influence and strengthening regional security cooperation. The partnership also highlights Russia's efforts to expand its strategic influence in the region through military collaboration.